Hard to believe that it's been 7 years since the brutal murders of Abby Williams and Libby German.
All this time and still no justice for the families of these girls. More than 2,500 days, to be exact, waiting for answers after the bodies of Abby and Libby were discovered near the Monon High Bridge in Delphi.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Cold Case Collectives. Today we're diving into a case that has haunted Indiana, shaken the true crime community, and sparked endless theories around the world. It's a case filled with bravery, tragedy, and one of the most chilling pieces of evidence ever captured by a victim. This is the story of two young girls, Libby German and Abigail Williams, whose ordinary day on a hiking trail in Delphi ended in a mystery that continues to echo nearly a decade later. Grab your headphones, settle in, and let's unravel what really happened on the Monon High Bridge. Delphi, Indiana is a quiet, tight-knit community of around 3,000 people. It's the kind of town where everyone knows everyone, where neighbors wave from their porches, and where tragedy feels like something that happens outside the city limits. But on February 13th, 2017, Delphi's peaceful reputation would be shattered forever. That afternoon, school was out for an unused snow day, giving 14-year-old Libby German and her best friend, 13-year-old Abby Williams, an unexpected bonus, a free day to explore the trails they loved. Around 1:35 p.m., Libby's older sister dropped the girls off near the entrance to the Monon High Bridge Trail, a popular hiking area. Libby and Abby planned to take photos, enjoy the weather, and simply hang out. Libby loved photography. Throughout the hike, she took several pictures, including the now famous shot of Abby walking across the old towering wooden trestle bridge. Everything seemed normal until the girls stopped responding to messages. When Libby failed to show up at the pickup point later that afternoon, their families panicked. They knew Delphi. They knew the trails. Something was wrong. By early evening, a massive volunteer search was underway. Hundreds of people turned out. Family, friends, firefighters, and local police, scouring the trail, calling out the girls' names. But as darkness fell, the search was called off for safety. No one imagined how grim the discovery would be the next morning. On February 14th, just after noon, the search resumed. It wasn't long before searchers made a devastating discovery. Two bodies were found near Deer Creek, roughly half a mile from the bridge. Though authorities did not immediately release details, the worst fears were confirmed. The bodies were Libby and Abby. The community was shattered, but almost immediately rumors swirled, not only because of the brutality of the crime, but because of the extraordinary evidence police were about to reveal. A few days later, investigators made a shocking announcement. Libby had recorded video and audio of the man believed to have murdered them. Her phone, found at the crime scene, contained a brief clip showing a man walking toward them on the Monon High Bridge. Heavy jacket, hands in his pockets, head down. His walk was confident, maybe too confident. Then came the audio. Police released just 3 chilling words. "Guys, down the hill." The phrase became infamous. It was a command, calm yet forceful, directed at the girls. And it changed everything. Libby's quick thinking, capturing video and audio in such a terrifying moment, has been praised as an extraordinary act of courage. It may one day be the key to justice, but even with that evidence, the case remained maddeningly frustrating. Initially, the case seemed solvable. Investigators had a suspect video, suspect audio, a timeline, a public location, hundreds of people on the trail that day. And yet, the case dragged on. Police released the first suspect sketch months after the murders. A man in his 40s or 50s wearing a cap with a rough appearance. But in 2019, 2 years later, they dropped a bombshell. A completely different sketch, this time of a younger man, possibly in his 20s or 30s. Even more confusing, police said that the new sketch should be considered the primary depiction, but that both might still be relevant. This led to years of speculation. Was the first sketch wrong? Were there 2 people involved? Was the killer hiding in plain sight? Authorities have kept a tight lid on most crime scene details, but leaks and rumors, some credible, many not, spread rapidly online. What's confirmed is this: the crime was violent. The killer stayed at the scene long enough to stage or manipulate it. There were unusual elements investigators have never officially described. Because of these withheld details, the case has been labeled a signature crime, meaning the killer may have personal or psychological motives expressed through the scene. Police said they were looking for someone who showed drastic behavioral changes after February 13th, someone who might have had scratches, unexplained absences, or shifts in personality. Still, no arrest came until 2022. On October 31st, 2022, a stunning announcement was made. 50-year-old Richard Allen, a Delphi resident who worked at the local CVS, had been arrested and charged with the double murder. He lived just 2 miles from the crime scene. He had walked the same trails. He had processed photos for locals. And most chillingly, he had approached Libby's family in the days after the murders, offering to help. Police claim Allen admitted to being on the Monon High Bridge the day of the murders, placing himself at the scene. A .40 caliber unspent bullet found between the girls' bodies was reportedly matched to Allen's pistol through what investigators called tool mark analysis. But from the start, the case has been anything but straightforward. The case against Richard Allen has spiraled into controversy. His defense team has claimed evidence was mishandled. Allen was abused while in custody. Investigators ignored other suspects. The crime scene had ritualistic or cult-like elements. These ritualistic claims have been strongly denied by prosecutors. The defense later walked back some statements, and several filings were sealed due to graphic content. In 2023, Allen's attorneys released never-before-seen images of the crime scene and court documents, causing uproar and leading to sanctions. Allen has pleaded not guilty, and his trial has been postponed multiple times due to motions, evidence challenges, and courtroom disputes. To this day, no trial date has moved forward to conclusion. While police maintain they have the right man, the public has debated several other persons of interest over the years. A former pastor involved in violent crimes against women. Some speculated he resembled the sketches, but no strong evidence tied him to Delphi. A drifter with a violent past who was arrested in Colorado. Rumors linked him to the case, but authorities later dismissed him as unrelated. Some believe more than one person may have been involved based on timing, audio interpretation, and early police statements. Officials have not ruled this out but have not confirmed it either. Despite the theories, investigators repeatedly stress that this case is still active and that the public should avoid jumping to conclusions. As of today, the Delphi murders remain officially unsolved in the sense that no conviction has taken place. Richard Allen sits in custody awaiting court proceedings that have been delayed, contested, and complicated. Meanwhile, the families of Libby and Abby continue pushing for justice, pleading for patience and accuracy, not speculation. The small town of Delphi, forever changed, still holds vigils, still visits the trails, and still honors the 2 young girls whose lives were cut tragically short. What remains is the hope that one day, ideally soon, the truth will be laid bare in a courtroom, and the killer, whether Allen or someone else, will be held responsible. Thank you for watching this deep dive into the Delphi murder case. If you found this video informative, mysterious, or thought-provoking, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Cold Case Collectives for more true crime investigations, unsolved cases, and stories that deserve to be heard. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and keep the search for truth alive.